Hey y'all, Dan on the training, John with PT. Welcome to PT Ask Dan. How we doing, Dan?
Hey, John, fine, thanks.
Good. I want to talk a little bit about advocacy, and I want to share a story we had at a recent conference we were at. And we're very direct with our clientele. We will pay them through a credit on their services if they refer to somebody who buys from us, and we promote that and we talk about that. We want to write checks in essence because that means more client acquisition, more growth on the PT front. And we had a client at the recent event who really took our services to heart in the relationship. And I asked him if he had other groups at the event that he does this with. And he had 3, and he was very specific about why he advocates on their behalf. And he explained why he advocates for us. Yes, the economics are a good thing that helps him, but he wants more people using our services. So we're that much more stable. But he also then has peers to talk about maybe ways they're succeeding with the service that he's not, and some of those things. He would walk people over and he'd say, meet so-and-so. And then as you start the conversation, he makes the acknowledgement and he fades away, or he'd send people over and say, so-and-so sent me, that sort of thing. But that advocacy is unique. It's not built into everybody to do that sort of thing. So can you talk about how you can generate more advocacy or have those conversations that will lead to more business being brought to you?
So the percentages I'm about to share with you are not real, but it gives you the idea.
Okay.
About 20% of your clients will always give you referrals. About 20% never will. And 60% are on the fence. And that's the percent we want to target, is that 60%, that if we can push them a little bit, they will then give us referrals. So first of all, it starts with, and I know this seems like a simple question, but do we want referrals? And I think most people would say yes. Oh, okay. So if you want referrals, what kind of referrals do you want? And let's make sure we know specifically what the type of prospect we want to meet is. We need to be very specific for that. And then how in the world do we help that 60% tip in our favor? And part of that means you actually need to go and have conversations with that 60% and say, hey, what would it take? What do you need from me? What do you want to see to help you potentially tell others about us? And if they like you and they respect you, they'll let you know this is what needs to happen. And then we need to do it. But in all of this, John, the whole thing that I just laid out, you need to be proactive. You can't just sit back, wait for the referrals to come in. You actually have to go out and try to get them. And I think that's the huge difference.
Yeah. And oftentimes we start these conversations and you hear about, well, I provide great client service. I always return calls within 2 hours or whatever their mantra is. But that's everybody's mantra. And that's prospects and clients, they expect those things. That's not up for conversation. Now I realize you'll gate some clients or garner some clients who come in and say, well, I'm here because so-and-so stopped calling me, or this wasn't working, or what have you. I get it. You need to deliver there, but you need to have those hard conversations with that middle of the bell curve, like you described, because you can influence them. And they're not going to become an extreme of constantly sending or advocating necessarily. But do they send you 2 or 3 referrals now a year that they didn't send previously? Maybe that's gold to you.
Bingo. It starts with you just asking.
The conversation, yeah, ask. But also, I think what you're describing, when we say just ask, people just then say, oh, so I just have to ask for referrals. And yes, you need to ask, and how you go about it matters. But you also need to start asking the question you described of, okay, what do I need to be doing for you to do that? Is there something you're not getting from me? Something more you want?
Yeah. And maybe even start with the question of, hey, John, are you happy working with me? And yeah. Well, what do you like about working with me? Well, here's what I like. What problems have I solved for you? Well, this is what I've solved. Fantastic. Would you be willing to introduce me to somebody you know that I could help just like I helped you? And see, it seems like it's such a common progression here. Ask them if they're satisfied with us, and then how do I get to meet people that they know?
Well, and if they hesitate or if they give you lip service, but you never see the outcomes, there's something more happening there.
They could be in that 20% that will never refer you.
Could be. Could be, for whatever their reasons are. You never know.
That's right. No pressure. Just do it in a way that makes them comfortable, but it starts with us being proactive.
There we go. All right, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Take care.